Hello and welcome to the final episode for the third season of Game On. I am your host, Lashraptor, and this is a long time coming review. For a while, I was going to be lazy and not do a live action one, but I came up with a decent idea that I think you'll enjoy. So, this is the finale, and you're also going to get to see the parade footage sped up to last a much shorter amount of time than it really would, but that'll be after the review itself. So let's get this thing started, shall we? As you should know from the last review we've done, we now have a new system called the C4. Not to be confused with C4 as in plastic explosives. But for every category that we cover in the review, a number will be displayed on the left side of your screen. And it can be anywhere from a 0 to a 10. 10 will be represented by X because it fits in a nice looking column that way. So let's get this thing started. Gameplay gets a 10. Paper Mario has great gameplay. I had to take a little bit of points away from innovation, but not the gameplay itself. For what it is, Paper Mario is a fantastic game. It's easy to play, it's not too challenging, it's not too hard, and you can really use a lot of other strategies that you might not think are in there. It really all depends on what order you want to do things in, and it's kind of a necessity-based leveling up system. The things that aren't too good about this game I'm going to be talking about in the next category. If you want to have the real Paper Mario experience, play either the Thousand Year Door or Paper Mario. Moving on to innovation, I'm giving this game a 7. This is because at the time it was released there wasn't anything all that innovative about it. Except for the battle system, but even then the battle system isn't really that unique. It's just something that most games don't really use. For example, in Final Fantasy, you never have just one party member. Well, not for very long, anyway. And the wheel that you can use to select things, and the switching places around, and just the resources and everything, the battle system itself is a very interesting form of RPG, and it's one that I don't see very much in games. From what I've seen of gameplay demos of the upcoming South Park Stick of Truth, it looks like they're going to be using something similar to Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door's battle system. The most innovative thing about the game, I would have to say, is the graphics. But even then, they're not innovative in a wow, that's cool way. They're innovative in a the whole thing is made of paper kind of way. I also took a lot of points off innovation because this game is an RPG, but doesn't feature a lot of things that normal RPGs feature, such as side quests, longevity, replayability, or, you know, anything more than just the basic story. You also can't grind in this game. You know, there's like an unseen and unmentioned level cap. So I gave innovation a 7. Next we come to controls, which gets a 10, because on the N64, this game played very well. I was playing it on the Virtual Console, and it wasn't that bad either, but the problem is that the Virtual Console doesn't have the C buttons, whereas the N64 did. So when you're opening your inventory, or switching your party members, or something like that, you have to use the right analog stick rather than actually pushing the down button. Which is why I gave it a 10, because it plays better on the N64, and also the controls are very smooth. There's no problems with the hit detection. The control scheme is easy to learn, and this is one of the first games that featured the active time events, which is a thing that they would later carry on over into the Mario and Luigi saga. It's a thing that a lot of Mario games had. I think they even used this similar style in Mario RPG, which I've never played, by the way. Probably should. Where you can hit once and add a second attack with the push of a button is a very interesting thing. So I gave controls full marks. Next we come to graphics, which gets an 8. Now the graphics are not bad in any way, shape, or form. They're very interesting and they're very consistent. You will never see something that is 3D in this game. And if it is, it's 3D in that it's still paper, but it's a thicker kind of paper. Kind of like cardboard, you know? The environments are all 3D, but not in the same way as a three-dimensional thing. Like, if you were to look at them from behind, they wouldn't have a back to them. You know, they're just 3D from whatever angle you're looking at it from. And, I mean, some could say that the graphics are kind of just a cop-out, because the graphics, having everything made of paper, it has absolutely nothing to do with the story or the gameplay at all. But it's a very endearing and a very recognizable thing. And I guess it was just a way to keep that particular series identifiable from a long distance away. So, they could have been better, but at least they were all paper and they were all the same type of graphics. So I gave it an 8. Music and sound effects gets a 10. I don't think I've ever played a Mario game that has bad music or bad sound effects. The only exception to this would be games where Mario constantly yelps and shrieks and talks with his vocalizing, which is really annoying. Like in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, when you're jumping up platforms, ha, hoo, hee, ha, hoo, hee, ha. That gets annoying. But that's not the case in this game. The music is very good, the sound effects are very good. The only thing I'm not a fan of is that irritating little chirping sound that you get when you're scrolling through dialogue. I mean, Nintendo has never really been one for voice acting, but that chirping sound could definitely be removed and I would not miss it. Speaking of voice acting, that also gets a 10 because there are no voices in this game, so I have to give it a 10, otherwise it would sacrifice 10 points that it doesn't really need to. Finally, we come to the storyline, and for the most part, Mario RPGs usually have pretty great stories. In the case of Paper Mario 1, not necessarily the greatest story ever, but it's definitely more developed than pretty much any other Mario game out there. You know, like, Bowser kidnapped Peach, but he also stole the Star Rod and plunged the entire world into chaos, and so now you have to go to all these different parts of the Mushroom Kingdom to recover all these Star Spirits, and then go back and fight Bowser, who has Princess Peach in her castle the whole time, who is working behind the scenes. See, it's more than just a save the princess, but not all that different. Thousand Year Door, Super Paper Mario, and I suppose I guess not Sticker Star. But Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario, and even the Mario and Luigi games like Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, Dream Team, and that weird one where you were inside Bowser's Inside Story. All of those, and I guess the Mario RPG as well, have pretty great stories, and they're a little bit more darker than the Mario games usually tend to be, and that's one of the things I like about this series. So I gave the storyline for this one an 8. If I was reviewing Thousand Year Door, I probably would have given it a 10, except for the fact that the Thousand Year Door storyline is a little bit confusing, and it kind of just does a bit of an unwelcome U-turn nearing the end of it, but it's not bad. So yeah, storyline gets an 8. So assuming that my math is correct, and it might not be, because I'm really not that good at math, Paper Mario's final score is a 63, so let's scooch over and see what that means it'll get on the R5. So as you can see here, the R5 has 7 rankings, leading from the bottom, which is a 0 to 10 score, all the way up to the top, which is a 61 to 70 score. So with a final score of 63 from the C4, that means that Paper Mario's grade will be an awesome. If you have never played this game before, I highly recommend it. I also highly recommend Thousand Year Door, which I could never beat because it gets really hard at the end. And I also recommend Super Paper Mario, but I do not recommend Sticker Star. I think that they really made a lot of bad decisions in Sticker Star, and I don't like that game. But anyway, Paper Mario gets an awesome, the highest rank we've had so far in Game On, and also a really well-deserving rank. So that's all I have to say. So now I'm going to bring you guys over to the last bit of footage, which I have sped up so that it will not last as long as it really is. So please enjoy the parades and end credits of Paper Mario. And until next time, I will see you guys later. We're going to do The Last of Us for the next gameplay, but give me maybe 1 or 2 months to get everything ready before I start uploading, okay? Peace out, and as always, game on. So assuming that my math is correct, and it might not be because I'm really not good at math, Paper Mario's final score is a 63, which equates to... Stupid chair is broken. What does it equate to? I can't...